Hello wellness seekers, how are you today? So in today's video, I'm going to make this relatively quick and short for you. I really wanted to just take a moment and chat with you about essential oils. But I wanted to talk to you about essential oils when it comes to back to school. But before we can get to that, and I promise we will cover what essential oils are, how you can use them safely, how to really differentiate between the different brands, because there's so many different brands that are coming out nowadays, and it can be really confusing and super overwhelming to figure out what would suit your family best. And even if you don't have any children, you will probably feel the shift that's taking place in the next week or so as we're moving into September, and you will feel just energetically the city will always take on a different energy altogether. We're definitely marking the end of summer and the start of fall, and you will see that with the days are going to get a little bit shorter, it's going to get a little bit cooler. You can already start feeling that, maybe not so much today as it's super humid out right now, but just in general, the energy of the city and everything as we're moving into a new season changes. So with the new changes, as we welcome fall, we're also looking at just different needs that our bodies are going to need, and our children as well. So I really wanted to just shoot this quick video for you, just to kind of give you an idea of how essential oils can actually support you when it comes to this back to school season, and what would be the most cost-effective way for you to incorporate them into your lifestyle currently where you're at, without making you feel like you need to buy everything at all times and you need to use 20 different products just for you to get the most benefit out of it. So if you wanted to get some more information and learn more about oils, then let's get into this. Okay, so first let's get started with what essential oils are. So essential oils are obviously made out of plants, and they're usually using different parts of the plant. Sometimes it's the roots and the leaves, or the barks. So it basically, and through different processing methods, they are able to extract the essence of that particular plant, whether we're looking at the bark of a root or we're looking at the leaves or the flower of a particular plant. But all you need to know that they naturally occur in nature. They're usually using different methods to get the most authentic version of that plant out, and it's also highly concentrated. It is safe to use for humans, however, just a little bit goes a long way because it's many times more concentrated than the plant itself. So knowing that, when you're looking at are they safe, they are safe depending on how they are processed, and we will get into that a little bit further on when it comes to figuring out which brand to use and what are the brands out there currently that are using the different testing and why that actually matters. What I really wanted to drive home for you when it comes to back to school is I really wanted to focus on immune boosters, on stress and anxiety and overwhelm management, on bacteria management, and on oils that really just support more than one body system are usually the better bang for your buck. And then also, like, when you're just thinking about it consciously, of what are some of the things that usually come up when it comes to back to school? Well, most people are getting back into a regular routine because they need to wake up earlier. Kids might be anxious and they are getting into a newer routine, so they might be not only more excited in the morning, they might be a little bit harder to manage when it comes to just getting them a bit more organized. But then also there is a fear of, like, you never really know like what kind of germs and bacteria and that sort of thing they bring into the school. And so we're going to be taking a look at oils that are really excellent at supporting their immune system that way. And then of course, like, getting them back into a regular routine would also involve in getting them to bed at a reasonable time, which means that we also need to work with their nervous system and also your nervous system, because you might be finding that you're more tired, you're more exhausted, you have more things that you need to keep track of. So I will be giving you a few recommendations when it comes to that as well. Now, to make your life a lot easier, I am attaching to this video a little workbook that is completely complimentary that you can download. It's called The Top Oils to Boost Your Health, and it gives you a little bit more of a breakdown on some of the oils that I'm touching on today. Actually get all the info ready for you guys. So a couple of things that we're going to cover here. But first of all, when we're talking about what essential oils are, they are basically made out of plants, and they're extracted from the trees, the herbs, grasses, roots, fruits, and flowers of plants. Now, some of them are extracted from the resins, such as frankincense and myrrh. Some of them are taken out from the roots, such as vetiver. And if we're looking at using the leaves, that would be something like geranium. They're actually extracting the essential oil straight from the leaves. Seeds, that would be like cumin. Rhizomes, which would be for ginger. The petals of the flower, so that would be an example of that would be white rose. And then the peel of the plant, that would be basically all of your citrus oils. So your lemon, your lime, your bergamot, your grapefruit, tangerine, those are all going to be coming from the peel of the plant. Okay, now when it comes to uses, there's a large variety of uses, but really we can put them into 3 different categories. You're either going to be using them topically, one way or the other. It's going to be just hitting your skin, whether it's with carrier oil or otherwise. You can use them aromatically, where basically the pathway that it takes is actually through your nose and using the olfactory nerves, and then it'll impact your brain within about 10 to 15 seconds, or through a diffuser. So if you have a diffuser, I will insert a little clip of what a diffuser looks like. As extensive as using it in your food, using it as face oil in gardening, in bath, in sitz bath, which kind of goes back many years from before. You can use it as a compress. You can use it in hot tubs, in jacuzzis, obviously in massage oil. So during massage treatments, I generally use essential oils just so that I can get a specific effect. You can use it as shampoo, as perfume, or you can use it in the shower. So as you can see, there's a large variety of different uses there, but when it comes right down to it, what we really care about when it comes to uses is which pathway does it take right into the body. That's basically what you need to know about uses. Now, when it comes to oils, we're going to be looking at some of the basics, and as I mentioned earlier, I will be attaching to this video an e-guide that I have created specifically for this purpose, so that you can really get an idea of what you can actually use the specific oils for. So let's start with lavender. So lavender is basically called the mother of all oils. They're usually you can use them for burns, for cuts. Most people actually know lavender as it's primarily for relaxation, which is very true. It will definitely have a relaxing or sedating effect on the brain. So a lot of people use them for sleep or for insomnia or extreme stress, but it just goes so much further beyond than just for stress management. You can use them for straight up burns, cuts, after surgeries. You can use them also for headaches. It's an excellent antiseptic. It has antibiotic properties. Slightly antifungal, but that's not really what most people know lavender for. I will also insert right around here just a few of the uses that I use them for in my daily life, just so that you kind of get a basic idea. Next up, we're moving on to peppermint. Now, one thing that I will tell you about essential oils is that the best way for you to really experience it is to experience it. So the best way for you to get an idea of what essential oils are or how they really work is really if you actually end up experiencing them. And the best way to do that really is if you have a bottle with you and then you can smell it, because otherwise all of this, yet again, it just becomes information that you would be consuming, but without really experiencing the effects, you won't really know. So Before I go even any further into this, I wanted to let you know that if you wanted to experience them but you don't live close to me, that's totally fine. I am creating an offer for all of you if you wanted to basically just get a sample of I'm going to go through about maybe 6 or 7 different oils, but out of all the oils that I'm mentioning here today, if you wanted to get a sample of it so that you kind of get an idea as you follow along this video of how they're affecting your body, comment below and let me know. And you can message me privately, or you can just comment below this video. And I would love to send you a little sample. I can dilute it for you so that it already has the coconut oil mixed in, which means that you don't have to use it in a diffuser. You can just use it straight on topically without really having to worry about any skin sensitivities or any reactions in that regard. But the big thing about it is the only thing that, and I will do this completely free, the only thing that you have to pay is shipping and handling if you don't live in a Kitchener-Waterloo area. So that's my offer for you. No strings attached. Don't feel like you're obligated to buy in any way, shape, or form. But I know that whenever we're going through a lot of these oils, the best way to really experience them is to be able to smell them so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Because I can do my best to explain what a scent really feels like or smells like. But honestly, you have to experience it for yourself. Okay, moving on. Peppermint. So peppermint is very widely used in our home. A lot of people end up using them, especially when it comes to back to school. Peppermint is going to be your absolute go-to, whether you end up using them with your kids or just first thing in the morning, you sort of wanted to set the mood. It's excellent mixed in with a lot of the citrus oils. It's very uplifting, very much. Just avoid using it around the eye area because it can really burn. But peppermint oil is excellent for headaches, for fever, any of that sort of thing, but just know that it's a stimulating oil. So and also you can use them as an antispasm. It has antispasm properties. Now, you might be like, well, why do I care about that? Well, you might care about peppermint and antispasm because if you are hauling a lot of different weight and you are running around with the baby on the first week of back to school, then some of your muscles might be completely aching. Or if you're just getting back to school also generally means getting back into a workout routine that actually suits you for the fall. So whenever that happens, peppermint is going to be your best friend just to massage it into the tissue, and then you will probably feel a lot more relief. Okay, next up is going to be our immune booster, and immune boosters are generally a mix of clove, cinnamon, and wild orange, and then they usually either add rosemary or thyme, something along those lines. But in our case, I'm talking about On Guard. Now, when it comes to On Guard, it's one of my absolute favorites, and doTERRA has created quite a few products out of On Guard, primarily because it becomes extremely versatile and it becomes one of those oils that are actually safe to consume. So they do have a line of cleaners and hand sanitizer and that sort of thing. But the reason why, it's not because it should be such a wide range of oil that should be in everything. But the reason why they've done that is because it has an antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral property that specifically goes to cinnamon and clove and orange. So when mainly cinnamon and clove are, keep in mind, they are going to be, cinnamon in specific is going to be a hot oil, which means that if you just put it on topically, then it will burn your skin. So you want to make sure always to dilute it with some sort of fat. Generally, sweet almond oil works great, or coconut oil is more widely available. Either way, one thing to remember about On Guard and about an immune booster is that back to school season is usually calls for germs. So they do have a hand sanitizer that they have created. If you don't have one, you can also just make one as well with just mixing about 10 drops with some water, and then you spray it on your hand and then you're good to go. But the big reason why most people absolutely love an immune booster is because whenever there's a season change, that's usually when our immunity tends to go down. And also with increased stress and increased responsibilities, then our bodies actually take a toll on it. That's all I'm going to tell you about that. Okay, and next up, I actually chosen, our next two that we'll focus on is tea tree and rosemary. So, tea tree is, again, another one of the staple oils that most people love having around at home, especially specific to kids. You want to have tea tree primarily, again, because it is an antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal property, but also because a lot of times you can actually use it with like bruises and cuts and scrapes or any type of skin irritation, and it is safe for that. So I'm a huge fan of tea tree for that, but again, more uses of tea tree, I will just include the book and you can read it. Because honestly, a lot of the times, all of these oils will play really nicely well together, and then what you really need to figure out is which body system you want to support and then use that specific oil. Rosemary. Now, rosemary is a really interesting choice, and the reason why I've chosen that is because it not only helps you with muscular problems, but also it's a stimulating oil, which means that it's going to play really well with a lot of your citrus oils. So it's going to be very uplifting and it's going to create a lot of movement, a lot of vibrancy within your home. But the big thing is that it not only helps the body and mind, but also it helps you with your respiratory system. Again, back to school generally means lots of colds, lots of sniffles, and that's sort of when we really want to be clear about what are the oils, what are the tools that will help us with the respiratory system, with the immune system, what are the tools that can actually help boost a few of the body systems so that everything can kind of flow beautifully. And last but not least, I picked copaiba. Copaiba is another one of those oils that will affect at least about 5 different body systems. So it impacts not only your cardiovascular, your nervous system, your digestive system. So it has a very calming effect on those, but it also helps you with your liver and your kidney cleanses. But the reason why I personally chose it is because it works really similarly to frankincense, and that's going to be more on cellular health. Now, cellular health and back to school kind of in my mind go hand in hand. I wanted to pick a calming oil that you can use specifically for that. And really the idea is that you don't want to have about 20 different oils at home. You want to have a few that will make the biggest bang for your buck. So I find that copaiba, rosemary, lavender, peppermint, and tea tree are going to be the best bet. And of course, On Guard, the immune booster. All I have for you, that's all I wanted to share about essential oils. Obviously, it's a much bigger topic than just the back to school. There's way more to know. But for now, I really wanted to condense it, share what's happening with oils. Should you get it? Should you not? It's going to be a lot more natural option for you. And I wanted to make it so that it becomes widely available to you. So if you're finding that you're at the beginning stages when you're really just understanding what essential oils are, how they impact the body, it's definitely going to be a process. You will probably not start off with buying half the collection from any company. You will probably buy 1 or 2, try it out, see if you incorporate it into your day-to-day life. But I will tell you this, the moment that I started incorporating them into my routine, every step of the way, it has changed my perspective on how I think about my health and my immunity. Essential oils are just one of the tools that can really help bring balance into your life. And all you need to know really there's obviously, it's a massive topic because there's so much to know and there's so much to understand on a deeper level. But the very basics are that essential oils are safe as long as they are processed in a way that they are not adding a lot of perfumes and preservatives and chemicals in there. That what you actually get in the bottle is the thing that they actually tell you that you're getting. Okay, now I will be using some of my notes only because there's so much to share and I'm not going to memorize all of it. So I was briefly touching on copaiba yesterday, but I really wanted to dig up my notes just so I can get to the nitty-gritty so that you understand exactly why I'm passionate about this. It's one of the newer oils that doTERRA has released as of last September, so it hasn't even been a full year really on here. Okay, it affects your liver, and because it also gives you an antioxidant support, it affects your cardiovascular system, your digestive system, It sustains proper immune response, so it definitely helps you with your immunity. It supports proper neurological function and proper respiratory function. So oils like that will have multiple effects on your body, I'm always a fan of. And when we're bringing it back to how it impacts your life, it's very simple. You want a few oils that will actually make the biggest impact on your health. And if you're looking at your day-to-day life, you don't want to end up with about 20 oils. Well, you can, but if you're just getting started, it becomes very overwhelming because you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, what can I use this for? Or when will that thing come up when I can use this? And I want you to think about it a little bit differently. I want you to kind of look at your lifestyle and where you need the most amount of support. Sometimes you would need support first thing in the morning when the kids are going crazy and you're ready to lose it in the car. Or maybe sometimes you have road rage as you're driving to work because you're driving too late. So this is when oils like copaiba ends up helping you, because it not only helps you with your stress relief as well, but it also helps you with the antioxidant effects on the liver, as well as boosting your immune system. Because keep in mind, whenever your body is under stress, it totally drains off your immunity. So having oils like that, it really makes the biggest impact on your health. And last but not least, I really wanted to touch on neroli. And most people will not talk to you about neroli because it's not like one of the cool and hip oils. I was really excited about it, to learn about it last year when they first came out with this. And I'll explain why. And mind you, like, neroli smells beautiful, first of all, so you can actually just use it as a perfume. But here's the kicker. So it helps with late stages of pregnancy, but that's not why we're going to focus on it today. I wanted to focus on it because it directly interacts with the N-methyl D-aspartame receptor, and it's critical in synaptic plasticity. So what does that really mean? Well, it's the mechanism that your brain uses, like the little messengers that it uses to help you with brain function and learning and memory. So if you're finding that your kids have a difficult time focusing, then you can use something like In Tune to like bring focus back, but this actually helps you with neuroplasticity and to help those synapses take place a little bit easier. The other thing that it also modulates is GABA response. So linalool binds to the receptor site and it gives the GABA receptors a greater affinity to the neurotransmitters. So GABA is an inhibitory neurotransmitter, and what that means is it actually just slows down the neuron firing. So when it comes to slowing down neurons firing, that means that it's going to slow down how quickly your brain will react to certain things, which will also mean that it's going to help you with stress management. It also helps you, it helps with calmness and relaxation. So with copaiba and neroli at your side, they make a bigger impact on both your kids and on yourself, especially when it comes to just getting started in like the first couple of weeks when you're kind of feeling a little bit out of place and out of touch. This would be something that is going to be greatly beneficial. It also helps with intestinal inflammatory response, a smooth transition with helping with hormones, so hormone balancing, it's excellent for that. And it also helps you regulate healthy cell production. So whenever you have something like boosting immunity, helping with cell regeneration, that sort of thing, you definitely want to go after oils that are for that, only because you're gonna get way more use out of them versus using it for like mood lifting. Although like I'm not going to knock any of the citrus oils because, you know, I'm a big fan of citrus and most people are, but keeping it with neroli, I think that it would, if you have neroli, use them, but I think it's more important that you actually have a better understanding of what neroli does, what copaiba does, how you can really use peppermint, rather than really truly focusing on, hey, do you have peppermint? We're not going to worry about that right now. I do think that if you wanted to try them, comment below this video and let me know. I would absolutely love to send you a quick sample so that you can really experience them as we're going through the content. But my big takeaway for you for today is really just learn as much as you can about essential oils, really understand and do your research on where they're coming from and what the companies are doing to when it comes to testing, because a lot of companies have been around a long time, but a lot of the companies out there currently they end up diluting their essential oils to a point where there's only a fraction of it is the real oil in there, and the rest of it is filler and preservatives and perfumes. So, and it's not that it doesn't make it safe to use, but you will definitely not going to be using those types of oils internally by any means necessary. And also you will probably find that they're not going to be as effective for the thing that you're trying to use it for. So when we're talking about things like helping you with memory improvement and neuroplasticity and that sort of thing, you want the real oil. You want the real extract of that plant. You don't want to look at like 20 ingredients and half of it has nothing to do with what you're using the oil for in the first place. This is all I wanted to really share with you. I wanted to create this video more as a support system for you rather than like here's a full class of everything essential oils. I will be making more videos around essential oils. I would love to hear your comments below, and I would love to hear your questions, because there's a million and one things that come up, and I found in the past that a lot of times people don't really feel comfortable because they don't even know that there could be natural tools available to really help them, give them the support that they're really looking for. So I'm looking for you to just give me your feedback. Let me know what you really want to learn about instead of just consuming content for the sake of consuming content. Because once you understand what your true needs are, then we can always find the best health tool that will support your health in becoming just a little bit better and functioning a little bit more optimally. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you found this useful. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and comment below and let me know if you have experience with essential oils and what your favorite is. And also, don't forget to grab the guide that I have created. I created it with you in mind so that you have just a better understanding of how to use them in a safe way. It does include a dilution chart so that you have a better idea of how to dilute them for children and what are the safety precautions, because those are absolutely important. Like I said, it is a learning experience, so you will probably start very small and then kind of work your way up. I hope you enjoy your day, and I will see you again next week with another video.